This is the Dadlife Podcast. 40. I've been on this earth for 4 decades, and for most of this year, I've been thinking about kind of what I used to think about when I was younger, where I'd be if I ever got married, if I wanted kids. I always knew that I wanted to be married, and I always thought that I wanted 2 kids. I wanted a boy and a girl. After I had my first kid, I didn't want any more. I'm very glad that I have a second daughter. I can't remember if there was a career that I wanted. The only thing that I can remember is I wanted to be a musician. And after school, I tried that. I put a lot of money into recording and radio promotion and all that kind of stuff. And I had a little bit of success. I had radio play and got to play some cool shows. And I had a song in a TV show, which I still get royalties from. And I never thought that I would play in cover bands until I saw my dad playing in a cover band. I thought it was so cool. And I really had a craving to get out there and play a lot. So, yeah, I put an ad online and I got a band together, and here we are, 11 years later. I'm very happy with how the bands are going. I play more than I ever did doing my originals. I make more money doing it, and people actually show up. I never wanted to be divorced, but at the same time, I don't know if I'd get remarried. I guess it depends on the person. I always wanted to own a house, and I do own part of a home. My ex bought me out of our home, and I bought into another one. After my first girlfriend, after my ex-wife, that was very stressful for me that whole time and after. And I've started noticing, I just feel like I'm getting more wrinkles around my eyes, so I can see my age. I've had a lot of heartache in my life. My brother, he is the one that has long-term relationships. I went through a ton of relationships that didn't last longer than 3 months until my ex-wife, and that got to 9 years or something. And while I'm thinking back of all this stuff, I'm wondering how my kids' lives will be. I really wish that I could save them from heartache, but I know they're going to go through it. To me, that's one of the worst pain that you could feel. Hopefully that won't be for a few years, but I have experience with that, so hopefully I can shed some light on that for them. I know when you're young and people are like, oh, it'll get better. You never think that at the time. I never thought that it would get better. I was always like, how am I supposed to get over this? Now, with my last breakup even, as hard as it was and as hard as it is for me still, I just keep thinking in my mind, eventually I'll be completely over it. Eventually someone will come along, because someone new always comes along, no matter how long it takes. So I'm just that's my mindset now compared to when I was younger. This last birthday that I had, May, we went to Paris, and it was the best birthday I've ever had. My family was there, my brother, his family. Didn't have the kids, they never came, but we got a trip planned for next year for Disneyland, which I'm really excited about. So going back to what I think about my kids' futures will be, yeah, like I wonder if they'll have kids. I wonder if they'll get married. I also have thoughts, hoping that they don't get into drugs, fall in with the wrong crowd. I have no idea how to prevent that. That didn't really happen to me. So I'm hoping they see the way me and their mom live and they'll stay away from that. I know there's things that happen, and I know that their mom and I will do whatever we can to help them through whatever they face in their life. They both seem to be doing well at school, and I hope it continues that way. I stopped going, halfway through grade 11, and for years, all I needed was 2 electives. I didn't finish till I was, 29? It was before, it was right after my oldest was born. So I think I was done by my 30th birthday, and I really didn't care about it until I had a kid. And I wanted to be able to tell her that I finished school. So that's the only reason why I even finished. Like I said, it was 2 electives. So they ended up giving me credit for a CAP class because I cooked for 10 years. And then another one was an online guitar course, which I finished in, a few months. So I'm happy to say that I finished. Around 2001, I moved into my grandpa's house, and my brother lived there too. And we got really close. And being that old, I saw what he had, I think 6 brothers and 1 sister. At that time, he had, I think 2 brothers left. And just seeing him sit alone on his chair watching TV every night, his family, most of his family all gone, his friends all gone. I am starting to get to the age where I'm thinking about that. I know I'm only 40, but I do. I think about that. I don't want to go through that. Losing your license and all that. Seeing him pass away, it made me realize that death is how you start. I remember being at the hospital thinking, not necessarily just about him, but other old people, they need a wheelchair, which I thought is exactly like a stroller. You can't control going to the bathroom, so you wear a diaper just like when you were a baby. You need to be fed in some cases. And it was so weird to me. You end how you began. I also think of how my kids think about death, and I wonder if they worry about that. I remember being young, and I always thought about it. I worried that my parents were going to die. And here I am 40 and they're both still here. But when you're younger, for me anyways, it really worried me. And now my kids are starting, I've started talking with them about my will, because I've made a will and things that I'm going to leave them, and they'll be like, oh, can I have this when you die? And so casually. So I don't think they understand what death is yet. So I also wonder how many years I have left. I'm 40 now. Will I have another 40 years? I want to see my kids grow up. I want to see them married. I want to be a grandpa, not for a long time. But I would love that. I hope that all happens. I really, really do. Here's to another 40 years. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube at Dadlife Podcast. I'm on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. Find me there. I'll see you in a week.